starting lineup.
We need Mixler to go live.
This actually isn't too bad. A little too close to you, but
What's that?
a little too close to you.
Oh, I don't have our banner up. Oh.
We'll watch. We'll look at Sasha.
Huh?
We'll look at Sasha. We'll look at Sasha Grey.
Heather and CJ?
We'll look at Sasha Grey.
It's Heather and CJ.
I thought it was Sasha Grey.
No, I wish it was.
Whatever.
What is up, everybody? It is Sunday, November 5th, 2017.
You're replacing?
Well, you don't have your headphones on, and I didn't give you the cue, so, you know.
Oh. I have one job around here.
It is Sports Talk 916.
That's really loud.
And we are live on Mixler and on the Facebook. So what is
The
up?
Facebook.
What is up? What is up? What is up?
Nothing much, man. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Got a lot to talk about today. We have we're going to talk a little bit about the Kings because they're terrible, and then we're going to
everybody's selling their.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about the 49ers a lot, unfortunately. And that is because they can't seem to figure shit out. I don't know if you saw the news that Adam Schefter reported this morning.
No.
Cool. Just want to make sure we had no reverb on the Facebook. So we'll get into that. So let's start off first with our normal Greg Rosa. How was your week?
It was good. Not really much to talk about. Just lots of work and lots of swimming and lots of water polo and just the usual shit. I'm actually trying to think of what.
What the fuck? Go away. I just want to share the fucking post. I don't want to watch the video.
What about you?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, it was another week, another round of work and gym and food and
Yeah, it was just kind of nondescript.
yeah, nothing exciting, nothing really too crazy. There's something else we need to talk about. Let's start with this. World Series.
All right.
Yeah, that was kind of a big thing that happened this week.
Oh yeah, wait a minute, and it was Halloween too.
Yeah, we did Halloween.
And the best pirate outfit ever. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that way to commit, dude.
You know, and I'm glad I remember this now because this is pretty funny. So I wore it to work, and actually I'd worn it to. If you didn't see it, you guys all know that I lost my leg in April, so I had my prosthetic guy make me a wooden leg, a fake wooden leg that looks like a peg, and it turned out really good. And went shopping and got a whole bunch of stuff, and actually had a pretty good pirate outfit. So worked to a party, it was all right, and then worked to work, and I actually had somebody come up and ask me what I did with my foot. Where are you putting your foot in that peg leg? And I'm like, really?
Wow.
Yeah. And they somebody wanted and thought maybe that like I was walking on my knee and my leg was the rest of my leg
sticking out the back.
Yeah. And then I've had a couple people ask me, somebody asked me if I went to a costume store and got it made. And people just aren't smart sometimes.
I just put a picture of Greg's face, pirate costume on our Facebook page.
So anyway,
go check that out.
So that was actually kind of a highlight of just people going, so what'd you do with the rest of your leg?
People are so
I decided I wanted to be a pirate for Halloween, and I went and got it cut off.
Right, they'll put it back on tomorrow.
Or then I did tell a couple people I was a ballerina in my younger days, and was just standing on my toe.
The whole time,
yeah.
Just walking around on your toe.
So that actually was the highlight of my week. So now let's get into the World Series.
Absolutely. So World Series. Could there have been a more fun World Series? I mean, besides 10, 12, and 14.
Well, yeah, but that was a different kind of fun.
Exactly, different type of excitement.
This was one of those where I don't really have a horse in a race.
Well, we did because it's anyone playing the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, that's true. One of my two favorite teams. But it was just a fun World Series, and I kind of went off on the Dodgers because I was feeling good about myself after Game 7. But they played really well. I mean, what was it, Game 5? Game 6? What was the 13-12 game?
6? No, 5.
5. Was probably one of the best games I've ever seen. I think there was the Rangers and the Cardinals a couple years ago had a game like that.
Yeah, it just went back and forth and forth, and you're like, someone in this damn game.
It was awesome. It was just Houston. I think at that point, most everybody knew that Houston was going to win the World Series just because they were determined. So, it was a great World Series. Both teams played really well. It was great to see the Dodgers lose and shut fans up for another, hopefully 30 years before they make it back to the World Series, but we'll see.
Right on. George says, turn it up. I'm thinking you need to turn up because...
I'm louder than hell.
It's louder than hell on our end. George says he can barely hear us. TJ, can you... TJ's on Mixler. Mike's on Mixler. Does it sound okay, guys?
I've never got to play with this before. Where's the good one? There you go.
Let's have everyone else check the audio real quick here before we dive too deep into it. Tony says he's good. What up? Tony Pacheco is on Facebook.
Hey, Tony.
The issue apparently is on the Mixler side, so we're waiting for what's going on there. Let's see if I can turn it up on this one. George, let me know if that helps at all. But yeah, it was a great World Series, a lot of fun, just to watch. It was, to me, it was the true underdog story. It was David Goliath, and what I mean by that is the Dodgers took the route of buying their team. I mean, They spent a truckload of money. They made all the big trades that no one else wanted to make. You know, salary wasn't an option or wasn't a concern, and they literally built that team through other people's payroll.
Right.
Whereas the Astros have been terrible for God knows how long, built their team up through the draft, and, I mean, aside from the Verlander, deal, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, they got Beltran too. Well, Beltran was more of just a clubhouse guy.
He didn't play that much.
No, he didn't play very much at all. You bring in guys like, Verlander, obviously, but everyone else was pretty much a product of the farm system. They were patient, they drafted well, and they didn't panic, which was, I think, the biggest thing. Because a lot of teams...
Listen, Kings fans, to what he's saying.
A lot of teams will draft young, wait 2 or 3 years, it doesn't pan out, so then they go and they throw all their young prospects at a Zach Greinke, at a, whoever it might be, and give up the farm for him, and then it doesn't work, and then you start over again because that guy leaves. The Astros didn't do that. They wait. I mean, Correa. Who's the kid at third base? I can't think of what his name is right now, but Springer, Altuve. Even the I can't even say his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the one that got was making fun of Darvish, the first baseman.
Oh yeah.
And hats off to him for the hat tip to kind of take a moment and respectfully acknowledge that he's an idiot to you, Darvish, in Game 7. But all of that, and then just you got to give credit up and down. I mean, that team can hit. That team hits for power. Even their little guys hit for power. They're aggressive on the base path. They said that sometimes their aggressiveness at third base gets them in trouble, but they weren't going to change what they were doing. They wanted to test the Dodgers. You've got to give a ton of credit to AJ Hinch and his coaching. He did the right thing. Where on the other side of it, Dave Roberts, I think, is the scapegoat in Game 7. if you can bring Kershaw in mid-game and have him pitch 4 innings, why the hell isn't Kershaw starting that game and going 4 or 5 innings?
Yeah, but throughout the season, Darvish has been pretty on point pitcher. I mean, he's got a good record. He had 2 bad games in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they were both in the World Series. So
yeah, but he got rocked in Game 4.
But that was the only time all season he got rocked.
But if you for the Dodgers, but if you go back and look at the season, he came from Houston or from Texas, Rangers, Texas. Every time he faced Houston, which was multiple times, he had bad games against them. They knew what he was going to throw.
Well, he was tipping his pitches.
He was, and it was the same style game plan that he used in the games in the regular season. And I'm sorry, if Kershaw is available for 4 to 5 innings like he gave you in the mid innings, he's available to start that game, and I think the whole game is different.
Well, I think what Roberts was hoping was that Darvish could get through the lineup once. Get through the lineup once, and then we bring Kershaw in. If you can give him 9 outs and get through that lineup without any damage, then you bring Kershaw in and he goes 5 or 6 innings. And then you bring Jansen in to wrap it up. And it's actually not a bad game plan, but it just didn't work.
It didn't work. And then the other thing in that 13-12 game, again, Roberts is a scapegoat. You bring in Brandon Morrow, who gets again lit up and gives up that 3-run lead that they had in the middle innings. And I mean, luckily for the Dodgers, was it Jock Peterson who hit that 3-run homer in the 9th, or was it Bellinger? Whoever it was that basically saved Morrow's ass. But
but Kershaw didn't throw well in that
no,
game.
No, he
either.
didn't. But the thing is, Roberts says, Morrow is the only relief pitcher in history of Major League Baseball to pitch in all 7 games of a 7-game World Series.
Right.
And in that game, again 5, he called down from the bullpen and said, "Hey, if we have the lead in the 6th, I want in." And after the game, Roberts, who said he needed to keep an eye on his pitching because he's already in the first 4 games, said, "Well, Brendan called down and said he wanted the ball. You just can't say no to that."
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah,
You tell him, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna need your arm fresh for 6 and 7. If this doesn't go right, just chill."
Right.
But no, you put him in there. He gets rocked. He gives up the 3-run lead, and like I said, luckily for them, they hit that home run in the 9th to tie it. But you don't roll that guy out there 7 games in a row and expect him not to have some kind of fatigue. It's the World Series. Of course, these guys are going to say they're 100% good to go. They have the whole winter to recover from pitching too much.
I think the problem with that game, though, was Kershaw. I mean, here's the supposed greatest pitcher of our generation, or of his generation. Unhittable, Cy Young Award winner, and he gives up. He's up 4-1. He gives up 3 runs. It's tied. Get up 7-4, and then he gives up 3 more runs. So the supposed greatest pitcher of our generation, or his generation, I keep saying his because he's a little kid, gave up 7 runs in less than 6 innings.
Mm-hmm.
So if Kershaw pitches the way Kershaw should pitch, they're not in that situation where they have to bring in anybody.
Right.
And they can go straight to Jansen in the 8th and have him pitch 2 innings. So,
but even Jansen wasn't a lock. I mean,
I'm
got
saying,
to him.
Yeah, I know. So I think as much as everybody in the first part of the playoffs said, Kershaw is a big game pitcher. He's got his reputation back. He's earned his spot as the best pitcher of his generation. Frankly, I don't buy it. He had a bad World Series.
He also is the first pitcher. He's given up the most home runs in a World Series now in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah,
so it's a nice little thing to sit on.
You have a big game. You have a World Series game, and you want a pitcher to win it. There's 2 or 3 people I'd take before Kershaw. First one is Baumgartner, but
I think Verlander climbed that ladder.
Yeah.
As if he wasn't already on that ladder.
Did you see the news yesterday?
That he skipped the parade?
He got married.
Yeah, he married Kate Upton. He skipped the parade.
Would you skip the parade to marry Kate Upton? Wait, your wife's listening. I'll say for you, yes, I would.
No, I would. I would skip the parade to marry anybody you're marrying because you already have it set. It's not like now. I got to give him a little bit of shit. He knows he's on a good team. They know the
Right.
dates of the World Series. The games are all tentatively scheduled on a certain day.
Right.
Just because it's to be determined doesn't mean it's the date's to be determined. Those are set.
You could have waited a week. You could have
Right.
waited a week.
If you know that they always do the World Series parade a couple days after the World Series ends, push it back at least a week. You
Right.
know? Let's go.
But it is keyed up to.
Right. Let's see some other moves. So I mentioned the Astros hit, right? They hit very well. The Giants went in on the day after the World Series and made a move. They hired the Astros assistant hitting coach to be.
I thought he was.
No, he was their assistant hitting coach to
Okay.
be our new hitting coach, which is great. And
Like that.
I like that move a lot. They just hired the Oakland Athletics former pitching coach to be our new pitching coach.
I like that move too.
So that's another good move.
That's not a popular move, but
Nope. Henry Bam Bam Mullins was upgraded to the former position that Ron Wotus was in.
he's going to be bench coach.
He's bench coach. The reason for that, a lot of speculation around the league, is that Bam Bam is going to slide into the manager role when Bochy retires. The
Yeah.
Giants aren't going to fire him. If they don't start winning again, I have a feeling they're going to force him into retirement. It'll just be a mutual parting. It won't be a.
Oh, we've talked about this
Bochy
before, though.
decision.
I don't place the blame for this year's season on Bochy.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Nope.
You know, when you don't have. I was listening to somebody the other day, and they made a good point. If you have a good leadoff hitter, and you have a good cleanup hitter, all of a sudden the Giants lineup doesn't look all that bad. You got probably one of the best third place hitters in baseball.
Yeah.
In Buster. You have a potentially great second place hitter in Panic.
Who I don't believe will be on the roster starting next season.
And you and I disagree with that. You got a fifth or sixth place hitter in Belt, and you got
Belt will be on the roster come next season.
an amazing seventh place hitter in Crawford. So
That one I'll give you.
I just don't think. I still don't think you blow up this roster. I think you add a couple of pieces that we desperately needed last year.
What's up, Ron?
Um,
So here's why I say I don't think Panic and Belt are around, and I may be wrong. I think one of them, maybe not both of them, are gone, and that's because the Giants are linked still heavily to Giancarlo Stanton,
right.
and all reports right now, as the winter meetings are approaching, is that the Giants are the favorite to land him, and the reason for that is because Giancarlo Stanton has a full no trade clause. And people close to Stanton have said that the Giants are among his top three
Right.
teams and top the list of places he wants to play if he's not in Miami. And to me, either you're early or I'm way drunker than I thought. Yeah, we're definitely early.
Is that right?
That's Ron, yeah. To me, you give up a Panic or a Belt to get him, and you may have to give up a BD or a block. And
I think the pieces that it's gonna cost them are gonna be an Arroyo and a BD.
I don't think Arroyo's going anywhere. I think they would sacrifice Panic over Arroyo.
I don't know.
Because Arroyo can play all three other infield positions. So if you put him in second base, which is his natural position, he's good. If Crawford goes down and you want to play Tomlinson in second base, then you move Arroyo to shortstop.
You're not gonna win anything with Tomlinson in second base.
What I'm saying, if you want to, I mean, if that's your stopgap, then you move Arroyo over to short because he's going to be way better at short than he is with Tomlinson.
Well, you're not
going
gonna move Crawford, so.
I said if Crawford gets hurt.
Oh, Crawford.
If they don't go out and get Nunez back, if they don't get a better third baseman, because I don't think Pablo Sandoval's back, then you have Arroyo at third base. He's so flexible and he's so universal is the word I'm looking for. I don't know. He's able to play them all, and that gives you a much bigger weapon than Panic, who can only play second base. So it's hard to say. I think that Belt.
I think if any of those guys are going to go, I think Belt's going to go, because it gives you the opportunity to move Buster to first base, even though he doesn't want to play first base. I think at some point you have to say, look, Buster, you're playing first base.
Can Giancarlo Stanton play first base? I mean, he's in right field. Do you keep Pence out in right, or do you move Pence to left and put Stanton in right? Do you see if he can play left out in AT&T? Because I think he'd be better suited to play left.
I think he'd be better suited to play left field too.
Or does he play first base? If you can get Stanton to play first, save his legs, save his arm, just have him hit home runs.
Yeah, but
and eat bananas.
I think
oh shit.
And his legs are just as important as Stanton's.
Mm-hmm.
You can put Stanton in right field. It's not going to be that much of a stretch on his legs.
Right.
Better than left field probably because left field's so big.
Right. Do you think TJ says he thinks that Stanton is built to be an outfielder, especially in left. I mean, if you can get him to play left field at AT&T Park, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm pulling up our NFL. We're gonna switch. We're gonna switch things up a little bit. We have really good audio clips. I always forget. Last week our show.
Speaking of baseball, did you hear the news this morning?
What?
Or maybe last night? That Johnny Cueto opted in.
Did he? Nice.
Opted in. He's going to be a Giant for the next 4 years.
Oh, so he opted into the rest of his contract.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I like that a lot.
I do too.
Let's see here. Let's talk about football. So the game that matters out here is the Los Angeles. Oakland Raiders versus.
Did you just call them the Los Angeles Raiders?
Yeah, I did. Not even
the Vegas Raiders.
Not even Vegas. The Raiders travel to Miami. The Raiders, after losing last week, are 3-5 now. Are they toast? I mean, is there anything that can save the Raiders season?
Done.
Marshawn Lynch is suspended this game.
Yeah.
For being an idiot. TJ, is it 1994? Shut up. I mean,
they're gonna have to go on a huge streak.
What are the Raiders playing for at this point? I mean, pride, obviously.
They have a shot. I mean, if you let me pull up the standings real quick because I think if you break it down,
they're 3-5. KC's 6-2. Denver is.
They're not going to win the division.
3-4.
They're not going to win the division, but they have a shot at a wild card.
Well, the wild cards. One of the wild cards, maybe both of the wild cards, are coming out of the AFC West.
Probably.
I just splashed myself in the eye with water. That's
right.
Great.
Okay, so right now, for wild cards, Buffalo is 5-3, Miami's 4-3, the Jets are 4-5, Baltimore's 4-4, Jacksonville's 4-3, and
if I'm Oakland, I'm worried about Buffalo.
And there's 14. Denver's 3-4. Chargers are 3-5, and the Raiders are 3-5, and they've lost to everybody in the division.
They have.
So they're actually a game behind everybody else. So
honestly, I mean, like I was saying, if I'm the Raiders, I am frightened of Buffalo because they have a great thing going for them right now. They got rid of Sammy Watkins, and basically their offense was rejuvenated.
Although they laid an egg Thursday night.
Well, yeah, but. It's Thursday night. Everyone lays an egg on Thursday night. I mean, the Chiefs laid an egg on Thursday night. Wasn't that the game the Raiders won? So they haven't lost everybody.
That's right. They beat the Chiefs.
But it's like everyone lays a damn egg. Basically, let's see. Mike says basically the Raiders have to win out to even get a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Hold on. Time out.
Is that Barn Bomb?
That was Barn Bomb.
Mike, we need to call Mike because somebody's hacked his Facebook account.
Yeah, no shit.
Mike.
That's way to go, Mike.
We don't even have anything.
There it is. So let that one rain in, Mike. Way to go, buddy. Way to go, dude. Anyways, I don't know where to go with this now. No, but the Raiders have to do something. I mean, if anything, now it's save face for the fans. They're losing their team in 3 years.
I mean, what do they? I mean, I still like their roster. I still like. I mean, I like their quarterback, even though I
say, do you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a top 10 quarterback.
I thought you were about to say he's a D-bag. That's what I heard coming out of your mouth right now.
I hate to say this, but I think the problems with the Raiders are the locker room. and I think the biggest problem in the locker room is Lynch.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I mean, Lynch is a tool. He really is. Talk about a D-bag.
Right?
He's just... I think he's got... The Raiders are still a young team, and I think he's got some of those guys believing that what he's doing is the right way to do it. And right. I think he's been not a cancer. He's just like a style.
He's been a distraction, is what he's been.
Yeah, he's been a distraction. And he needs to... I wouldn't be surprised if they have a really good game this week without him there. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know if I guess he can't even be at the game.
Nope.
But how many NFL players go and practice with their old high school team and get their high school team in trouble?
Right? Ridiculous.
I don't know if they got banned from the playoffs, or I don't know if they just got a slap on the wrist, but he really potentially could have fucked up a lot of high school players. Last chance of playing football just by being selfish and wanting to gain some attention. And for somebody that doesn't answer to the press, there sure was a lot of press at that high school practice, wasn't there?
There was a lot of press at that practice.
So, he's a doof. I'm guessing this is it for him. I can't see the Raiders bringing him back, even though he is hometown boy.
I don't see him bringing him back either. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'd be a smart move. That chemistry of that team got beat.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big things that got them to 12-4 last year was chemistry. They all got along. They all were on the same page, and they just don't look like they're on the same page this year.
Our boys out in Philly really don't understand the West Coast.
Why?
So Ron came on and said, "You guys are either early or I'm way drunk."
Yeah,
and then Sean comments, "You guys wake up this early? I thought California sleep until 1.
No, not 1 noon. But we got an extra hour of sleep because of daylight savings time.
Right. I haven't slept until noon, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I slept until noon. No. Let's see here. First of all, to the anyone that plays fantasy football, you have 23 minutes. If you own Leonard Fournette, you need to get him out of your lineup. He's been suspended this week for violation of team rules, which fucking ruined me for the next 3 leagues.
Save me in one of my leagues.
But Adam Schefter is putting out conflicting reports of who's going to be starting in Jacksonville. I thought T.J. Yeldon, after his 122-yard and 122-yard performance last week, would have got the nod. Looks like Chris Ivory, because of a late touchdown, is actually going to be the starter this week.
That's what I heard too.
In Jacksonville, so if you're on the waiver wire and you can, grab him. I just got him on my league. Go with Chris Ivory for your starting lineup in fantasy football. Let's talk about the 49ers. So, busy week for San Francisco. They're 0-8. Brian Hoyer's out, obviously. And when I say out, he's completely off the team now.
He's a Patriot.
He's now a Patriot.
God, who won that trade?
Right? So the 49ers give up a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. We've been talking about getting Garoppolo for a little over a year now, if it's possible, but we didn't think the Patriots would part ways with him.
Right. Which was a surprise to everybody, I think.
A very big surprise to everybody. And Kyle Shanahan, talks about how he's excited that he's going to be here and all those things. Garoppolo looks excited. Fans ask, when might we see him? The Niners have a bye week coming up in 2 weeks, and there's a lot going on, and Shanahan gives the PC answer, well, we may see him after the bye, we may not see him at all this season, blah, 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 blah. They have to talk about doing a long-term contract, all this other stuff. Well, Adam Schefter this morning drops a bomb on 49er fans that 49ers may not even get into contract talks with Jimmy Garoppolo. They may not even consider it until they get to know him better. And basically the assumption is either he's going to wow everybody and they're going to give him a long-term contract and he's going to be the 49ers quarterback for the next 10 years, or they're going to franchise tag him and they're going to basically put him on the trade market for the team that offers the most for him, with anticipation that they'll get more than just a second-round pick for him, because he'll be a sought-after, trade commodity at that point. How do you feel about that? I mean, me personally, I mean, you woke me up from a nap. I didn't answer the phone, but
Is that what you were doing?
I was napping, yeah. And I was excited to see the deal. Like, I like the idea of Garoppolo being here. But what's the point? I mean, why give up that second round pick when you need it? Because you're banking on people giving you more, but you don't know for sure.
What do you get when you franchise tag somebody and then
highest bidder?
Yeah. So yeah, but do you get draft compensation?
No. So either you franchise tag him and you sign him he signs the tender, or he sits, or you can trade him as if he's an open trade commodity. So if the Browns
if he goes away as a free agent, do I get
no, they're gonna have to free agent or franchise.
So I heard tag and trade this morning, which is a term I'd never heard before.
But here's the deal: if tag and trade blows up in your face, $25 million a year for a guy that's only started 2 games in his career, thrown 96 passes, seems to be a little steep.
Yeah.
Why not negotiate a $15 million or $20 million a year and just lock him in and see what happens?
I think it's all posturing. I mean, I just don't see. I don't see Lynch and Shanahan doing stuff like that. That just doesn't sound like they wanted to get him over the summer, and New England wouldn't talk. Now all of a sudden, New England's open to a second rounder. Do you think maybe they knew something?
No, I think that it really. It's cliche, but I think it boils down to respect for who's running our front office right now. I think a lot of people respect John Lynch, and I guarantee you he came at it in a very
They approached him. They approached him.
I didn't know that.
I think the first call was to him. Right. They interviewed him on the radio the other day, and he wasn't really too open about who called who first.
Which I'm good with. Don't give out too much information.
Right. But it sounded like he kind of insinuated that they got the call from New England.
Oh well, hey, however it went down, I'm good. But keep the damn guy.
Yeah.
Let us build the draft. I mean, you're gonna get probably the number 2 pick. I still think we either win today or we beat the Jets. And
I think we win today.
And
I don't think we're. I think
you think the Jets are off that win because we both had to beat the Jets earlier than
I know, but the Jets are playing a lot better than anybody thought.
So, and I know George is listening right now. I know George hopes he wins because his girlfriend Michelle bought him tickets for his birthday today at the game. So he's on his way down there right now. So hopefully the Niners can pull a win out for George's birthday. But it's one of those things right now where I really, really hope that they know what the hell they're doing, because let's say we get the number 2 pick. Who's going to be number 3? Is it going to be Chicago? They're not going to take a quarterback. Who's up there that's just you had the same.
Cleveland's going to.
They're going to go number 1 overall, and
they're going to take a quarterback.
And Sam Darnold out of USC came out and said if the Rams get the number 1 overall pick, he's staying in college.
You mean if the Browns?
If the Browns get the number 1 overall pick, he's staying in college. He's not coming out.
So let's see. So right now the Browns are 0-8. The Niners are 0-8. Somebody's 1-8. The Giants are 1-6.
So I could see the Giants taking a quarterback early.
I do too.
So if let's say the Giants get 3rd and the Niners get 2nd, you trade back 1 spot. You'll get the 3rd pick, and you'll get probably a 2nd or a 3rd rounder, maybe even more.
Yeah, but here's the thing: do the Giants do that? Do they trade up 1 spot just to get a quarterback? I think the Giants. I mean, Chicago did that last.
Who's right behind the Giants?
Tampa's 2-5.
They're not taking the quarterback.
Indy is 2-6.
I can see Indy doing it because
I can't.
I don't think Andrew Luck's back next year. I think they get rid of him.
No.
Andrew Luck.
No.
I think Andrew Luck is ready to jump ship in Indy. I don't think he wants to be there anymore. He wanted out via trade when they weren't going to play him. They've shut him down for the whole season now. I think that they go to teams and say, "Hey, Andrew Luck's healthy. Do you want him?"
So I got some breaking news.
We have a button for that. Where is it?
Fox Sports NFL is saying that John Lynch tried to trade for Tom Brady before he tried to trade for Garoppolo.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, you know what?
Future first round pick. Take the number 2 pick.
You take the number 2 pick for Tom Brady? Absolutely. It doesn't hurt to ask. All they can say is no and laugh at you.
Hey, you know what? I like it. That just shows he's got some nuts. But no, I think you know, the Niners, they come in at 2, they trade back to 3 or 4, they take that running back out of Penn State, if you can get him. I mean, hell, I think you take him at 2 if you have to. I can't think of what his name is right now, but you take him, you let Hyde walk, because Hyde's just a walking injury report, and you see what happens, and then, you know, they're going to have a lot of high other picks. I mean, yeah, they gave up a second round for Garoppolo, but, so the report, go back to the Garoppolo thing, the report is that if they do a tag and trade, the option is that they're going to throw a shitload of money at Kirk Cousins. Because apparently Cousins is going back on his whole I want to stay in Washington thing. He wants to be back with Kyle Shanahan. So let me ask you this. Do you go Cousins at $30 million a year, or who's proven, and I think...
What's he proven?
He's proven to be a very good quarterback.
Very good.
And under Shanahan, it was the best he's ever been. And I think that you have a whole new light. Ron says, if the Giants get Saquon Barkley, I'm going to be a catatonic. I don't know what the hell is catatonic.
Catatonic?
Catatonic. Going to be catatonic.
So that means he's going to go into a coma. He's going to...
Saquon Barkley is a running back from Penn State.
Right.
Is that the curse still alive, though, on Penn State running backs?
Ooh.
You know, I don't know, but I would love to have Saquon Barkley as a 49ers running back. But no, I think Cousins has a lot more win now than Garoppolo may have.
Yeah, but the Niners don't need win now. They need build a team, and I don't know that Cousins is.
Whoa! Ron Sullivan. Barkley may be the best collegiate runner that I've ever seen, including Bo Jackson.
No, that's blasphemy, dude. You are drunk. There's no, no. Sorry, I saw Bo Jackson play when I was his age, and he was. I mean, there's nobody that could touch him, and
he's back. He got his phone back. The new Brady bunch should be the 49ers. I don't like Brady in New England.
Where's the idiot one?
Damn it, Mike. We thought you were doing good here.
You were doing so well, and then you blew it!
TJ says Tom Brady will be playing until he's 44 and in Foxborough. Let's do this real quick because we have bills we got to pay. Which we still need to do your damn thing, but let's do this since Tony's on. So Jenna says, Bull, you are high with Cousins. I didn't get to finish my thought because I was asking Greg what he thinks between $30 million a year for Cousins or 15 to 20 for Garoppolo. And my take on that is you tell Cousins to stay in Washington and you roll the dice with Garoppolo or Beathard or another quarterback down the road. You don't throw all that money. The Niners have $68 million in cap space next year. I don't want to see a third of that going to Kirk Cousins. I want to see it be built up. Like you said, the Niners aren't in a win-now situation. They're in a do-okay situation to where we still get decent draft picks and we continue to build this roster up. You don't need to put all your eggs in one basket with a quarterback at this point. Now, me personally, from what I've seen from Garoppolo and the fact that he's been sitting behind Tom Brady for a number of years, is I think you have that future quarterback on the roster right now wearing number 10. He just has to be given a shot to do it, and I don't think the next 3 or 4 weeks is that time. There's no offensive line. You at least got to wait till Staley's back from his injury to even consider putting Garoppolo on the field at this point. But lock him up. If you have to tag him and give him a season to play to see if he deserves that contract, then you do it. But you don't bail on Garoppolo already. This draft is too deep to be bailing on a second-round pick already.
Yeah, I agree. You know, in the Niners, if the Niners were were a quarterback away from being a competitive playoff team, I would think Cousins is the way to go. You know, you tag and trade Garoppolo for Cousins, and you know you move on with Cousins. But the offense is horrible. There's not one position on the offense that's solidified. There's no wide receivers.
Especially now that Garcon's on injury reserve.
There's no wide receivers. Running backs, I'm sorry. Carlos Hyde just doesn't do it for me.
Nope.
Tight ends are inconsistent. Offensive line is a revolving door to let people through. There's just you're not one or two players away. You're an offense away from it. So you bring Garoppolo in, you use the draft picks. Maybe you trade down. Maybe you go for a first-round draft pick or a running back with your first pick, and then they got a bunch of picks. They got a lot of second, third, and fourth-round picks. Maybe you build up your offensive line with those, and that's where you get offensive linemen is this second, third, fourth, fifth round. That's
right.
Where those guys come from. So you go for the home run on the first pick. You still have a second pick with the Saints pick, which will be mid-level. You go for maybe a name wide receiver or a tight end, and then from then on, you do nothing but draft offensive line.
Yep, and you and Jenna are on the same page. So Jenna I've known since elementary school. She's one of the biggest 49er fans I've ever met. And so she knows her shit when it comes to this. She says we need O-line, D-line, running back, and wide receivers. We have some work to do. We have a lot of work to do. It's not just some. This team has a lot to go. But I think John Lynch is already established that he knows how to do this via the draft.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more and more players that come in here, I think if you have Garoppolo under contract next season, I think some wide receivers want to come here. Because, we got Marquise Goodwin, great. We got Pierre Garçon. But
even Pierre Garçon, I mean, he's on injured reserve, but what has he done?
Right, so...
You know, he's a possession receiver. He's not a home run hitter.
To me, Garçon came here simply for the fact that Kyle Shanahan was here. They had rapport in Washington.
Right.
The Marquise Goodwin was, you're going to throw money at me? Okay, cool, I'm here.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they called after they signed Hoyer and they're like, hey... You want to come play here? And wide receivers are like, hold on. Who's your quarterback? Brian Hoyer. Is there another Brian Hoyer in the league? Because the one that I'm thinking of couldn't throw a beach ball to me. Yeah, no, it's Brian Hoyer. Click. Like, they didn't say goodbye.
Right.
You have a guy like Garoppolo on the line, and on your starting lineup. Those wide receivers may take a different tone on that phone call. They may not have the 49ers in the phone as 49ers ... do not answer.
Right.
Like when you meet that like nasty bitch at the bar where you're like, oh, I don't know why she got my number.
They're gonna put them on speakerphone so they don't have to listen to the phone. They can hold it away from their ear.
Exactly. So I think that changes if you have a guy like Garoppolo here, and I think that's what Lynch is expecting is we can build, and he's gonna draft good. I'm not worried about that.
And I still don't know. Again, I'm just not sold on Cousins. I mean, I think he's an all right quarterback. I mean, I'd probably put him in top 12, top 13. I mean, he's not an A-list quarterback. He hasn't done anything in the playoffs. He's just kind of okay. That's kind of my reaction to him. And I just don't think I think receivers are gonna take your phone call if you have Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, but I'm not sure he's gonna really draw anybody to the Niners. So
talk about Cousins?
Yeah, I'm not sold on him. I just don't think he's. I don't know. He came in and was a backup to RG3.
Yeah, but RG3 they also gave away the farm for, so
Yeah.
he kind of started by default.
But still, I mean, he's got all the tools. You know what? He when I think of Kirk Cousins, I think of, and they talked a lot about this last week. I heard it 3 or 4 times. He's an all-airport quarterback, and by that I mean he looks the part.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all the tools. Got a duck going on.
What? I thought we were back inside this week.
He's got all the tools. He just doesn't do it on the field for me.
We're a farm show now.
Oh,
Right? No, I agree with you. I'd rather have someone who learned from Brady than RG3.
Wow, who said that?
Jenna.
Yeah, Jenna, I'm not buying that.
I agree with that 100%.
I don't think he learned anything from RG3. I think he
That's
sat there
true.
and laughed at him the whole time.
That might be
I
accurate.
know you're gonna get hurt. I know when is it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Oh, it just happened.
RG3 sneezes, Cousins runs over and grabs his helmet. What? I'm ready, coach. Let's go. So there's that. Man, it's just, to me, it's the Niners. I mean, if this was bulky, and this report from Schefter came out that the 49ers are possibly looking to move him, I would come out right now and I would bet my next paycheck that Garoppolo will be gone by the time the season starts next year. But with Lynch being, not an idiot, I think that we have a really good
What
chance.
a great compliment.
Right.
Lynch, you're not an idiot.
You're not an idiot. Let's see here. Let's do this real quick. We didn't do our show last week, so we didn't do our picks. Let's go through and run through our pick 'em this week.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you did them. There's only 4 minutes left to change your picks. Let's see, standings wise right now. So first of all, every single person on our panel, there's I don't even know how many. Every single person took Buffalo this week. So all of us started off with a goose egg. Myself and Josh Zimmerman right now lead the league. We're at 74 predictions right throughout the season so far. Mike Vanterpool and TJ Longacre are at 73 points. You, my friend, are in 4th place at 70 points.
I'm coming back. I had a rough start. I've been playing.
Jaime Perez is at 66. Tom Morgan 65. Melissa Taylor, who started off I think with 2 in week 1,
Right.
is at 63, and then James Hines at 62, and then the 2 other idiots that signed up that didn't play are at 0. So let's take a look at this week. We have we'll just run through these games, see if there's any intrigue at all, and we'll go through our picks. Buffalo, we already talked about. Baltimore and Tennessee.
I took Tennessee.
I took Baltimore.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm kind of thinking I'm changing it.
So the entire panel this week took Jacksonville over Cincinnati. Oh wait, no, hold on, back up, stop. I need a rewind button.
I'm actually changing my Baltimore pick.
Are you?
I don't think I can.
Looks like it's locked. I'll have to do it for you.
That's all right.
The Browns. We forgot to talk about the Browns. The Browns were
Are
the
the
Browns. So they had a deal in place.
The Sacramento Kings of the NFL.
Right. They had a deal in place to get A.J. McCarron from the Bengals. Deal was done. Trade was finalized through both teams. They're ready to make the announcement. Their Twitter team had it up, ready to go. Deadline rolls around. They start to celebrate. All of a sudden, they look around and they go, "Did you call the league?" And they go, "No, I thought you were going to call the league." No one called it into the league by the deadline. The deal went sour, never got done.
So did you hear what their excuse was?
No.
We thought the other team was. We thought the Bengals were going to do it, and that's what counted. Right?
So they don't get their quarterback, which I think A.J. McCarron might not be a bad deal for Cleveland. He's
Can't
not
be any worse.
He's not a terrible quarterback. A lot of people have been calling for him to.
Again, great compliment. He's not a terrible quarterback.
A lot of people have been calling for him to replace Andy Dalton in Cincy. So the Browns don't get their guy. Now, a report comes out yesterday that A.J. McCarron has filed a grievance against the Bengals for so he was drafted in 2015. No, 2014.
That sounds about right.
I think it's 2014. Drafted by the Bengals. He passed his draft day physical. He passed all of his physicals to start training camp. The Bengals put him on the PUP list and didn't activate him until week 9. Well, in order for it to count on your season log, you have to be eligible to play in 6 games of the season. So week 9, obviously, you're not eligible for 6 games. You're not active for 6 games.
You're not?
He was activated. He wasn't activated for enough games. So maybe it's 7 games. You have to be over 6 games. Whatever the case is, they activated him week 9. He wasn't dressed for enough games in the season for it to count as a full season on his career log. So therefore, that season doesn't count. So his first year technically was 2015. Without that first season, he's a restricted free agent this year.
Right.
He's filing a grievance against the Bengals that says I was fully healthy. There's no reason I should have been on the PUP list. I want that first season to count because that would make him an unrestricted free agent. And he's already basically said, I want to sign with the Browns in the offseason.
That's a reason to go on the PUP list right there.
Right. You want to play for the Browns?
Mentally not healthy to play.
Yeah, this guy should be benched. But yeah, so he's filing agreements. They won't know until, into the winter. But
right.
Just more dysfunction from Cleveland.
I mean, we have a pretty good perspective on this with the situations we've gone through. But, as bad as we've been around here with the Kings, the Browns are just... Do you think they're snake bit? I mean, do you think they're a curse? Is there a Browns curse going on?
Is there a Penn State curse that trickled into the... Yeah, TJ went 12-1 last week, you asshole.
Bitch.
I think I did too, though. I think I went 12-2 or 11-2 last week. Anyways, let's get back to this. I just wanted to talk about that. Atlanta, Carolina, about to start. I have Atlanta, so do you, it looks like. Houston, Indy. You took Indy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they don't have a quarterback anymore, do they? Houston, Deshaun Watson's down. They signed Tom Savage, or they have Tom Savage, and they signed Matt McGloin.
Did they?
Yep. And then the owner, who's on ice skates right now, or roller skates, just being pushed backwards, is after his let the inmates run the prison comments last week, has given approval for the Texans to work out Colin Kaepernick, as if that's not a PR move if you've ever heard one, right? Honestly, we bashed Kaepernick on this show multiple times.
Right.
But if there's a quarterback out there right now that could slide into what the Texans' offense has looked like...
Who would you rather have, Matt McGloin or Colin Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick. I'd take him over Tom Savage, too.
Yeah.
So if there's a quarterback that fits what Watson did with his mobility and his agility and his arm strength, Colin Kaepernick makes sense right now for the Houston Texans. He's not going to be worse than a rookie quarterback.
No.
So I think Houston should make a move for Kaepernick. As more details emerge from this collusion case, we'll talk about it probably next week. But a lot of owners and coaches have had their emails and text message records subpoenaed.
Yeah.
Which isn't a good look for the NFL at this point. The Seahawks were included in that. Pete Carroll was also indicted on that stuff.
Sneaky Pete?
Yep. So there's that. Let's see. Philly and Denver. Our entire league has Philly. I skipped that one.
You skip all kinds of games.
No, I didn't.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Indy, Houston, we have... You took Indy. Everyone has New Orleans. Everyone has the Rams. And then, I don't know... I have Washington over Seattle in the afternoon.
I have Seattle.
I have the Niners over Arizona.
I do too.
I have KC over Dallas.
I do too.
I have Oakland over Miami.
Yep.
And I have Detroit over Green Bay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll see how that goes. You want to talk fantasy football at all? Because our teams have been...
Mine sucks.
My team's terrible.
It's funny. I have basically the same team in 3 different leagues.
So do I.
And 2 of the leagues, I'm in second or third place. This league, I'm like 1 in 23.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't get it sometimes. Like, I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, I just don't get it sometimes. Kings. You want to talk Kings, TJ? That's why we like our show. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. So let's talk about the Kings. Oh, I don't need a clap.
Yeah, but we knew that. Come on. You sound like all those dipshits in King's
Whoa,
Kingdom.
whoa.
We suck.
Whoa.
We suck. We
Do
got to get
not-
rid of everybody.
Do not
We're
put
not
me in that
playing
same
well.
group. Do not put me in the same group as those dipshits.
You're sounding like it though. We knew coming in that they were going to suck.
All I said was we suck again. I didn't say I expected them not to.
But you made it sound like you thought
No,
that they were
we're-
supposed to be good.
We're terrible. So let's go through a
We're
line.
not terrible.
We are
not
we
terrible.
are terrible, but it's expected.
Right.
We're not underachieving, is what we
No.
should say.
No.
So let's go through a laundry list of things that we've heard in the Kingdom and all these other groups this week. Dave Yeager's not on the hot seat.
No.
Vlade is not on the hot seat.
No. Boogie's not coming back.
Boogie's not coming back.
Boogie is not the MVP of the league.
He's not the MVP of the league.
I saw that. Did you see that one yesterday where the guy posted all the stats?
Yeah.
And he's in the top 5 in
Yeah.
like 12 different categories.
Right.
There's only one that he's not a top 5 in.
What's that?
Wins.
Right. Let's see what else is there. I will agree with one that the George Hill signing does not make a lot of sense.
No.
You give George Hill $20 million this year. You could have given Darren Collison a lot less, and Collison is a much better fit for this young
Do you think
squad.
that was a PR move?
Yes, because of the domestic violence thing. But
I
why?
think it was a PR move.
Here's the deal. At that point, fucking sign Ty Lawson. Lawson fits this role
Yeah, but
better
he's
than
a
George
drunk.
Hill. So what?
I mean,
He's
there's
better.
I think that was a cleanse. I think they were trying to get rid of, and I don't think Darren Collison's a bad apple, and I don't think Ty Lawson's a bad apple, but they got issues, and I think that they wanted players that would come in here as veterans, lead the rookies, not necessarily on the court, but in the locker room. And I think maybe they felt that Collison and Lawson were potential bad influences. That was going to be a distraction, and they could very well, hinder a little bit of the growth of these rookies and second-year players.
But here's the deal, though.
I mean, who would you rather have?
TJ's right. George Hill could be dealt by the deadline. I can see that happening.
So who would you rather have as a mentor to your players? Collison and Lawson, or George Hill and Vince Carter?
Vince Carter.
Well, and George Hill.
Vince Carter.
Right.
George Hill's not doing anything. He's not gonna make De'Aaron Fox better at this point. He's completely and here's why I say that. Locker room wise, and the fact that maybe he isn't, he doesn't have the legal stuff behind him that Collison inherited last season. That stuff's good, but they're two different style players.
Yeah.
You bring Collison in, who's an aggressive rim attacker, who's a scorer, who also can facilitate the offense and pass the ball, and you have De'Aaron Fox learn behind him. De'Aaron Fox is going to develop a whole hell of a lot faster than learning the locker room stuff and the floor general stuff from George Hill, but not learning that aggressive approach to the game. He has to learn that on his own, and I think that's going to be harder than anything for De'Aaron Fox. It's just because of the speed, the size of the guys he's going up against, all that other stuff. I think Collison would have been better suited to teach him how to play his offense.
Yeah. Again, as long as you're not trying to get rid of the baggage that Collison comes with. And, I just keep going back to that. I think they were fighting the baggage.
Mm-hmm.
What else was on there that we heard about this week from the idiots in the Kingdom? There's something else. There was one other one that I can't remember what it is right now.
Was it Keith's rant about if you're not loyal now, get the hell out thing? Because that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I get where he's coming from.
Somebody else posted something about, can we just make this a positive board?
And
No
everyone's like,
negative
see ya.
comments.
Yeah, they all hate Kosta Koufos. That's true. Honestly, though, back to what I said about Keith's rant, I agree with it. It's like you can't be trashing the team now and talk about how everyone sucks and how fire this guy, fire that guy, and then when we start winning. So Keith's right. If you're not down with the losing and the rebuild right now, then get the hell out. Like, why are you even a part of it? Because you're going to be the first one buying a new jersey and knocking on the door of Golden One when the team starts playing well, and it's going to push out someone that's sitting through the turmoil. So kick rocks.
You know, and I keep hearing that, you post in there, look, you got to be patient. We're rebuilding. Well, we've been rebuilding for 10 years. No, we haven't. We spent the last 7 years trying to piece together stuff that might fit around one player.
Right.
We haven't done. This is the first time I can actually remember in King's history that they tore it down and started over, ever. So this is really the first time. We weren't rebuilding before. We were just trying to
No, this
kind of
is
put pieces together.
this is the first time since the '99 year when the lockout year when they rebuilt the entire roster that we've actually rebuilt. Because you look back at it, we got Tyreek Evans, right? And they're like, oh, it's the start of a rebuild. And then Kevin Martin comes in, and then they move Tyreek Evans. And then, that starts happening. And then Kmart's here for a little bit. And then they bring in Artest. They bring in those other guys. And then they move Kmart. Like, they've never done a full, like you said, tear down and build up. They've just said, okay, this guy's a little bit older. See you later. This guy's coming in now. We're going to see how that... Oh, he didn't work. All right, he's gone. Bring in another piece. But there's always been the same accessories around the...
we've always had pieces there that we knew were good and that were... we just had to... If we bring somebody in that will help somebody, whoever, play a little bit better, then we're on the way to the playoffs.
Here's the way I feel about it, and this just kind of popped in my head. So tell me what you think about this. In 2000, you buy a surround sound system for your living room, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got Dolby 3.5.
Okay.
And it sounds good.
Right.
But as the years get better, now there's 5.1 and 6.1
Am I watching
and
it on
7.1.
HDTV?
So you have this up, and you have your surround sound up, and
Am I on an HDTV?
Will you let me get to that?
Okay, sorry.
So you hook all this up, but you have it professionally installed. So it's hardwired through the ceiling, through the walls. There's no wires. It's all just clean, right?
Right.
And you have your TV set up in the middle. And every year, as movies get louder and more fancy, and music gets louder, and games, the experience of games and the broadcast get better, you're like, this just isn't feeling right. So you go and you buy a new TV, but you don't change your sound system. And then next year you listen to it and you're like, oh, it sounds good. And then something new comes out and you're like, God, I went to my buddy's house and his sounds amazing. And you buy another TV and you change it again. And every year you're buying a new TV.
Or you're adding a Blu-ray.
Or you're adding something else to it. But your surrounding components aren't being upgraded. So it's never been a true upgrade. It's just been a modification to what you currently have. The Kings for years have kept those accessories the same and tried to replace the focal point, which in reality may not have been the issue. It's the accessories. It's been the entire system that needed to be upgraded, not just one component of it. And I think finally Vlade came in and went, you know what? Yeah, our TV's outdated, but we're on Dolby 3.1 around here. We need to be on 7.1 high-def sound. Rip the shit out of the wall. We're starting over. And I think that's what Kings fans don't recognize, is the fact that Tony says, it's like a car. You need a true upgrade. Go big or go home. That's a good thing. If you have a 2005 Ford Mustang that's, tech-wise,
thank you, Mayweather.
Tech-wise, it's okay, and it's not the fastest, and it doesn't have the best motor in it, but you just keep upgrading the paint and the wheels and the rims and the stereo. The motor's still the same shit motor. At some point, you need to just go, okay, you know what? I'm trading this in. I'm going for all the bells and whistles, and I'm going to start fresh because this new one is going to get me for the next 5 or 7 years.
Yeah. That's
what the Kings, I think, are finally doing, and Kings fans don't recognize that. They see it as, well, we've had new players every year. We've been rebuilding. No. We've had the same shit core for the number of years, and we've just been adding clip-ons.
So you know what we
You know what it is? So, hold on. This one is even better because I just caught a glimpse of the chicks in the back. It's like a chick with small boobs who just keeps buying bigger padded bras. Eventually, she just got to go in and get the big bolt-on fake boobs to make herself feel better, make herself look better. She needed the whole package. You can't just keep doing add-ons. You got to do the full upgrade.
Okay,
the Kings are finally getting a tit job is what they're doing.
and they're finally going to double D's.
Yeah, right. They've been a B cup with a padded bra for far too long. Tony says it's the team. That's why it's called a team. Laugh out loud. Absolutely. TJ, just because it's labeled a rebuild doesn't make it a rebuild. I agree.
Yeah, and going back to your surround sound system, I think what they were doing is they were waiting 3 or 4 years and getting the best surround sound system that was 2 years ago.
Right, they were waiting for the RC Willie clearance section to pop up.
Right, and so here's what they were doing. They're waiting for the RC Willie's clearance section to pop up, and then
negotiating a price,
and then going in and saying, okay, I know this is only $400 and it's really $800, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $1,200.
I'm going to give you $350. Take it or leave it.
No, I'm going to give you $1,200 because I want to overpay it because that's
$1,200. I got
that surround sound system doesn't want to come to my house because my house sucks. So
right.
I'm going to pay you $1,200 for that $400 system. That's really a $500, $600 system, because that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and that'd be like, we'll just go back to Tony because he's still listening. That'd be like someone walking in and going, "Oh, that Mustang, that's nice. What's the sticker price? $20,000. Oh, it's on sale for $16,000. You know what? I don't want you guys to get screwed over. I'm gonna go ahead and give you $22,000 cash right now. Like, you're not gonna turn it down. No GM or no player's gonna go, what? You want to pay how much?
Right.
I asked you to give me $12 million a year, and George Hill's like, I want $12 million. All right, we're giving you 20.
Yeah.
What? Sure. I guess I'll play here.
Please come and play for us.
That's exactly what it is. It's ridiculous.
So, it's frustrating and I don't know why I subject myself to these stupid forum rooms or whatever you call them. Just because people in there are so, it's whatever Napier says, it's whatever.
That's the other one. Fire Grant Napier. That's been the thing on the Kingdom. Get rid of Grant Napier because he's honest.
He's going to make a big difference in how the team plays. Yep. So do you want somebody to come in there and go, this team is awesome, they should be winning, let's get rid of everybody? No. He's the only one, he's one of the few people that actually get it and actually know what's going on and
All right,
I want to fire half those people in that room.
Let's do a quick score rundown since the NFL games have just started. We'll go ahead and let you guys get to your fantasy football and your festivities for Sunday. Early scores: Texans are down 7-0. I don't know why I started Texans. I meant to say Titans. Titans 3-0 over the Ravens. Baltimore, Jacksonville and the Bengals are 0-0. Falcons are up 3-0 on the Panthers. Broncos are up 3-0 on the Eagles. Texans are down 7-0 to the Colts. Saints 3-0 over the Bucks. 7-0 Rams over the Giants. And that is your morning wrap-up. So, Greg, do you have anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, one more thing. And this is a barn bomb thing. I saw it. Daylight savings time. Is it really that big of a deal to switch our clocks around? Is it really that big of a deal? Twice a year, you got it. It's like twice a year I go to Denver, and I got to readjust. It's not that big of a deal. I really don't get what the big deal about. I have to change a couple of clocks. And to be honest with you, most of your clocks nowadays change themselves.
Fun fact: I was watching a movie last night. I don't remember what movie it was. It was late. Oh, I was watching Southpaw. By the way, not a fucking boxing movie. Good lord! I was like, this is an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Jeez, great fucking movie though. I'm watching my watch and I'm like, oh, it's getting close to 2. Because Jason Harvilla, he's a Jersey boys. He flies out from New Jersey for all the Kings games.
Mm-hmm.
Season ticket holder.
Really?
Yeah, awesome dude.
Must be loaded.
I don't know. He posted a video last night of him traveling back in time. His clock went 1:59, 1 o'clock, like auto change. So I was watching my watch last night and it did the same thing. It was all, I picked it up, it was auto delay, and it's all 1:57, and then it changed to all 1:02. I'm like, I forgot about it. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, Mike, your phone, your iPad, most everything changes.
So did you read his post?
No, should I?
You gotta find it because it's not worth me even talking about because it's just so ridiculous.
Actually, let's do it this way. Hold on. Can you pull it up on your phone? Because we're gonna do it in true sports talk fashion. Let's do this. I really wish I could search for this shit. Great radio, by the way, right here.
Right.
There we go. Got it.
Oh, where is it? Hornets win.
There it is.
There it is.
Alright, let me see that thing. Let me read it.
I'll read it.
No, hold on. We gotta wait for it. 48%. 1 second. There we go.
It's the 2 times a year ritual where a fallback or a spring forward occurs. Today I spent a few minutes doing the fallback on 3 clocks pictured here. On these that do not automatically adjust to the 2 time changes a year. This ritual occurs.
Holy crap!
This ritual occurs the first Sunday of November, fallback, as well as the second Sunday of March, spring forward, of every year. I have a question for all of you out there on Facebook, and that is this. Wouldn't it make our daily lives a lot easier by leaving the time alone throughout the year? It should be either left on standard time or left on daylight time. Why should we change the clocks, all 3 of them, tonight before we go to bed, except Arizona and Hawaii, just to have them again, or change again, before we go to bed on March 10th, 2018. Just over 4 months from now. In all capitals. This is ridiculous, I tell you. It really is. Stop it. Stop it already. Tell folks like your representatives in California state legislature.
Nice. Carson Wentz just got a touchdown.
I know, I saw that. That we need to leave the clocks alone from now on. Stop it already with this back and forth stuff with the clocks. Send me your thoughts about this topic. I would love to see what you have to say. At some point, I would sit down with a member of the legislature to go over what is being said.
Oh, I
this,
hope you do.
so as to make this law change in the great state of California. Thank you for your consideration for this for California and other states to reconsider. Okay, Mike.
Hold on. First of all, thank you for tagging the state of California and
Right.
California on Facebook thing, because Mike, it's for the farmers, all 3 of them. Okay? They need the extra light to produce your avocados or whatever it is that you eat. Deal with it. Have your girlfriend change the clocks if it bothers you that much. Or here, Mike, you know what? You're a smart guy. I've talked to you about numerous things. You're an intelligent guy.
You made a great point earlier today.
Yeah, you're an intelligent dude. Do this. Because I did it this morning, driving to get donuts. Greg Rose is not eating it, but I got him a donut. Because I made him
on the way home.
get here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I got in my truck, and I'm driving to the donut shop. My watch, my phone, my iPad, everything said 8:33. So I hope you're sitting down, Mike. My truck said 9:33. But because I'm an intelligent guy as well, I knew that it wasn't 9:33. So you know what I did? I just went -1 in my head. And oh, it's 8:33. It's not that big of a fucking deal to roll back and out. It's not like we're switching twice a year to Japanese time where it's 36 hours or whatever the hell it is ahead of us. 9 hours ahead. You're not doing crazy math. It's 1. Math. The first thing in math we learn is subtraction and addition of single numbers. 1 being the very first one that you learned. It's okay, Mike. You'll live.
And Mike, now I would understand if you ran a clock shop.
Yeah, if you worked at a store.
If you worked at a store that sold cuckoo clocks,
Oh,
and you had to manually switch the time twice a year for all the clocks in your shop, that'd be a pain in the ass. Mike, you have 3 clocks that have to change, that don't change manually. It's not that big of a deal. And Mike, I'm picking on you. You're not the only one. There's a ton of people out. There's a shit ton of people out there that complain about daylight savings time. Well, you know what, guys? I work outdoors in the summertime, and I don't get off the pool deck until sometimes 8 o'clock. I really would much rather have that 8 o'clock be light than be 2 hours dark already. So, it's really not that big of a deal. Mike, if you want, I'll send Greg over and he'll change the 3 clocks that you have in your house.
What?
I was going to say I'd do it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, Mike, and TJ made a good point. I just don't want to drive home with the sun in my eyes. That's all I want. TJ, I feel you on that. My commute home.
Well, hey, TJ.
Sometimes I catch the light through my office window here, and it's bright, and I understand it. And Mike, no, I didn't go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts at Madison and Greenback. I live between 3 donut shops that are within running distance from my house.
And there's a lot of people that run to the donut store, I bet you.
I'm sure there is, and I'm not driving all the way to fucking Orangevale to get donuts. When I can go to Howard's Donuts, where I went this morning, or I can go to I went to Allen's Donuts. I have Howard's Donuts, and then I have Donut Donuts over there that don't have a generic name. I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts. I believe in mom and pop shops. You know why, Mike? Because they change their clocks back without bitching about it. Dunkin' Donuts has automatic clocks. Allen and Howard and Asian guy that runs the other one, they do it manually because they're true Americans.
And TJ, they make these great things in your car that'll get the sun out of your eyes. It's called the visor. Yep. Pull it down, and it blocks the sun. So, I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. So, I'm sorry. I'm a daylight savings switcher.
Mike says, I don't think I need Greg Bull to change my clocks. Thank you, Mike.
Then don't bitch about it. You're complaining about changing 3 clocks. I love you, Mike, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And TJ, I didn't say anything when you had this on your list of things that gotta go, but I'm just not buying it.
Did he have daylight savings time on his list of
I
things?
think it was. TJ, do you have it on your things to go from last year?
What the? Hold on, time out. Mike Barmum's a stalker. I said Allen's Donuts, right?
He looked it up.
No, he says Allen's Donuts on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho. That is a great donut shop. I've been there before.
Jesus Christ, Mike.
I said Allen. And he's like, I know Allen's Donuts. Mike, have you been to Donut Time on Kiefer? Because that's a really good one. Or the one on...
I got a great donut time story on Kiefer, too.
Let's go for it. We're talking donuts now.
My
First
wallet,
of all, show that donut I got you. It's beautiful.
it's half eaten. I don't want to show anybody that I ate half of it. Thanks a lot for throwing me under the bus, too. On
Kiefer.
Kiefer.
Okay.
And bought cigarettes.
Okay.
And Diet Cokes. And then went to Donut Time and bought 3 donuts and a thing of orange juice. And so I went to Donut Time. I went to both of them, I think. And they both had cameras. So I went back and looked at the tape. And I'm not judging anybody. It was a female, black, blind person that had my wallet, had my debit card, with my picture on it. So my picture is on my debit card.
Did she not know that she had it?
No, she had it. She used it because she stole it out of my car.
She's blind though. How the hell did she get out of your car?
She had some guy with her.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what the hell? That's a crafty.
I know, right? Right? But still, I mean, she had the little cane, and she bought donuts with my card, and then they proceeded to go to about 6 different Kentucky Fried Chickens to buy chicken, but I had already gotten it shut off by then. So
That's crazy. That's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
I love Donut Time. We've been going there for my whole life. And then there's the Station Donuts on Folsom Boulevard and La Riviera. Very good as well.
Yes. And then there's one on Folsom and over by Rayleigh's.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good.
But, there's a couple of them that have the...
And then there's BJ Cinnamon's up at Folsom, which is awesome.
Never had that one before.
It's awesome.
All right, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go have
Want a
some
donut?
bacon.
I got half a donut you can eat.
I can't have carbs. I'm going to a Friendsgiving today, and I have to avoid all the carbs there, too.
That's all that Friendsgiving is carbs.
I know. I was like,
You're not gonna eat. You can't tell me you're not gonna have any mashed potatoes.
I'm going to try not to.
I'll try.
There's
you
a
just
whole-
open up the door.
There's a 6-pound bucket of sweet potatoes in there, too, that I can't touch.
I don't have the sweet potatoes, and you're not gonna have any stuffing.
Stop it. Stop it.
Really? And then, of course, you're not gonna have any pumpkin pie or cherry pie.
You know what? I may just run to Roseville. Just jog all the way to Roseville. That way I can eat it. Things that need to go in 2018. Mike Barnbaum bitching about daylight savings time.
So TJ, did you ever answer? Did you have that on 2017's things to go.
Wait for the delay. We just have the Jeopardy music on here. And the show's unraveling.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right, let's get
For
out of
Greg Veroza, I am Greg Bowl. I will get audio from last week's show with Dave Deuce Mason up today, as well as today's show on iTunes and on the Google Play Store. You'll be able to check it out. For him, I'm me, sitting in our Sleep Train Arena chairs.
Yeah, which actually it actually worked better than I thought it was going to work.
No creaking, no
creaking, no rolling around, and I didn't have to touch your elbow, which I was worried about. But
Right.
I do have to kind of.
Well, we have the community cup holder. So for him, I'm me. Enjoy some football. Enjoy your Sunday. We will be back next week.
Good morning, Larry.